There is a big and controversial update coming from Tesla Giga Berlin or around Tesla Giga Berlin today. Michael Ganschow, managing director of Brandenburg Green League, says about Tesla Giga Berlin, the whole process is a mess and the authorities are overwhelmed. Steffen Schorcht from the Citizens Initiative of Grünheide on Tesla Giga Berlin says the Giga Berlin was a political decision. Economic Minister Steinbach says that they wanted to prove to the world that Brandenburg can do better and is more than the bankrupt Berlin airport. Welcome back, dear friends. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. If you are here first time, please subscribe to our channel for daily Tesla news. Zeit, a German top publication, today has published a very controversial story titled The Chaos of Grunheide, meaning the chaos around Tesla Giga Berlin, saying Tesla production on Brandenburg should start this year and approval is expected shortly, but it is unclear whether cars will soon be mass produced. Melanie Croye has published the story, and by the time of this report, within hours from its publication, by 5 times, it has garnered about 415 comments. 415 comments. So let's take a look at what it says. It's December 2021 and officially still no new Tesla has come out of the Gigafactory in Grünheide in Brandenburg. For the funds of the US electric car manufacturer Tesla and for company CEO Elon Musk, this is a disappointment, says Zeit. For the opponents of the project, especially nature conservation associations and residents, there is no reason to be happy either. So neither Tesla is happy nor their opponents. Nobody doubts that the final building permit for Giga Berlin will come even though it has long been in place due. It could have happened any day since last week. The deadline for rediscussion of objections to the project ended. I believe it ended last Monday. And we were expecting the final permit of Giga Berlin to come any day after that. Brandenburg Economic Minister Steinbach said that there were no more huge problems. Now the attention is directed to the State Office for Environmental Protection, called LFU, which has so far enabled the construction of the Giga Berlin factory with a total of 19 advanced permits and is now also issuing the final permit. The test production of a total of 250 Tesla Model Y cars was also approved by Tesla, for Tesla. And how many of them are actually finished is unclear. If you remember, according to a report by Automobile Vogue last week, only 5 of the electric SUVs Model Ys have so far been assembled in Grünheide Gigafactory. However, these may not be sold. According to observers, more Model Ys have been driven out of the building in the past few weeks. From the beginning of January, the report goes on to say 1,000 cars a week will initially roll off the assembly line of Tesla's Giga Berlin. Now let's talk about the controversies. For the opponents of Tesla Giga Berlin, however, the first 5 cars are already too many. It is incomprehensible that the licensing authority has generally not ordered any emissions measurements for any of the plants. It also remains in the dark when the so-called plant tests were carried out and what pollution was associated with them, says Michael Ganschow, managing director of the Brandenburg Green League, whom I quoted in the beginning of this report. In the paint shop of Giga Berlin, the authority relies without exception on calculations by the Americans, by Tesla. Apparently, Tesla has now presented the results of its own measurements in the context of aluminum casting to the LFU, the final licensing authority, says Ganschow. Sadly, these relevant documents were once again blacked out in the administrative file that was recently submitted to the environmental associations as part of an objection procedure. In any case, Ganschow criticized the lack of transparency in the approval process that has prevailed from the start. I'm talking about the approval process of Tesla Giga Berlin. With the constant changes to the application documents, the nature conservation associations had to gain access to the documents again and again, sometimes through the courts. But even then, the information would only be returned incomplete or blacked out. The whole process is a mess and the authorities are overwhelmed, says Ganschow. Even now, the ancillary provisions of the prior authorizations often seem to be inconclusive. He is therefore also looking with interest at the overall approval now awaited by all sides. He says how the authority issues this without submitting the various additional requests and the important accident reports remains a secret, Ganschow said. So far, the authorities have asked the right questions but have not received sufficient answers from Tesla. The big problem is that Tesla built the car factory in the drinking water protection area. Should a complication arise, the drinking water supply for the entire region and thus also for the capital Berlin could be at risk. Now, an incident at the beginning of November proves that this scenario is not that far-fetched. Due to prolonged rain, masses of water had collected on the roof of the factory Giga Berlin and poured onto the building site where no infiltration areas had yet been connected. The fire brigade and technical aid organization had to move in and pump out water for hours, possibly contaminating the groundwater. The Green League, together with the Nature Conservation Association NABU, is therefore already expecting to take the approval of Giga Berlin to court. And not only the environmental protection associations are preparing a lawsuit. Residents of Giga Factory Berlin area, the residents in the area, in Grünheide, are also positioning themselves to take legal action against Tesla, reports Zeit. And I will have the link of this report in the description of this video, friends. The LFU itself admits that they are not able to measure the emissions of the factory. That is a sleep template for every complaint, says Steffen Schorcht from the Citizens Initiative Grünheide. Political attempts have been made to create facts, but for him it is clear the situation is by no means clear for Tesla. The Gigafactory was a political decision that the state government wanted to push through with all its might, but it turns out that the government has again initiated an unbalanced decision, says Schorcht. He refers to a number of failed or very delayed major projects in the Brandenburg, such as the Berlin Airport BER, the Lausitz-Ring racetrack, the chip factory, and the Gargolifterhalle. With Tesla, an enormous risk for the state of Brandenburg and the taxpayers comes again. This is exactly what the government wanted to avoid. When the project was first presented, when Tesla Giga Berlin was first presented in Grünheide, Economic Minister Steinbach said that they wanted to prove to the world that Brandenburg can do better and is more than the bankrupt BER airport, Berlin Airport. The latest report shows that this and other government promises to Tesla could not be kept. The US carmaker Tesla wants to forego government funding in the billions of the battery factory also planned in Grünheide. I reported that a couple of days ago. Because then Tesla would also have to comply with the conditions for funding innovation, research and development. And the American company Tesla doesn't seem to want to do that or not be able to do that. Friends, in addition, they would first have to produce the technology at the Grünheide Gigafactory site before installing it en masse in other factories in their cars. But it could take months before the battery factory is even finished. This is why Zeit has titled its story saying the chaos of Grünheide, meaning the chaos around Tesla Giga Berlin. And the highlights are Michael Ganschow, managing director of the Brandenburg Green League on Tesla Giga Berlin, says the whole process is a mess and the authorities are overwhelmed. Steffen Schorcht from the Citizens Initiative in Grünheide on Tesla Giga Berlin says it was a political decision. Economic Minister Steinbach said that they wanted to show to the world that Brandenburg can do better and is more than the bankrupt Berlin airport. And it looks like that even when the final permit comes, some people in the area want to take the final permit to court again. But I personally think that the final permit will come, and these problems that I discussed based on the Zeit's report are solvable problems, like connecting and infiltration of the rainwater and so on, and other problems. And Tesla can do this. After all, they have invested more than 4 billion euros to Gigafactory Berlin, and this is going to create a lot of jobs and other environmental issues I think can and should be solved. So what do you think about all of these, friends? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Armen Hareyan from TalkNews.com. Please subscribe to our channel for daily Tesla electric vehicle news. Ring the bell so you don't miss my next coverage. Have a great day. God bless you. And let's move on to our next story.